The Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says that Iran will not yield to U.S. economic pressures.
We will stay independent, we will continue to be free, and we will not yield to the United States.
Rouhani said the U.S. sanctions are part of a psychological war launched by Washington. He added that the U.S. has failed to bring Iran's oil exports to zero, and that Tehran will continue selling its crude. The Iranian president said that all U.S. policies in the Middle East have failed, and it is now isolated in the world. Rouhani made the remarks during a speech in the Iranian city of Khoy. Mustafa Khoshcheshm is a journalist and political commentator who joins us. When we listened to the speech by Iran's President Hassan Rouhani, there was an interesting statement that he made regarding the U.S. failures in the region and in its wars and involvements from Iraq, Syria, Lebanon to Yemen. And he said that it's blaming Iran where it's actually their failure that has led to them demonizing Iran. Do you agree with that?
Well, hello, and thanks for having me. Well, that's true. As a matter of fact, the United States has long been seeking to contain Iran's regional power alongside its missile power and nuclear power. The sanctions serve as one of the leverages against Iran, actually. The results earned by Donald Trump after he withdrew from the nuclear deal in the first 6 months, for specific reasons, that the results made him joyful, but now he has come to realize that the sanctions would not bring him victory in the fight against Iran. This doesn't mean that he has lost hope. He would, I believe, my assessment is that he would continue this war, economic war, for the next, at least for the next 1 year, to eventually come to realize that the sanctions would not work and may not contain Iran's power. At the beginning, when he pulled out of the nuclear deal, Iran was preparing to take the countermeasures, in fall, since November, actually. So they didn't believe that the sanctions would yield their repercussions right from the start. So it was more like unexpected effects of the U.S. withdrawal that was felt by the Iranian market, especially in the foreign exchange rates. But after Iran took its countermeasures against the sanctions since, I believe, October, we could see a two-way war, a strong war of economy. The U.S. is attacking the Iranian market and economy, but Iran has come to, take action in order to stand up to these pressures, and it has so far, the results show us that it has been successful in harnessing the growth in prices, especially in the foreign exchange market. The conditions are brought back under control, so we didn't feel or see any major development when the crude sanctions came into force in mid-November. Now, I believe another factor is the Europeans. Iran was waiting all summer for the Europeans to comply with their promises with regard to trade ties with Iran. But now the remarks made by Iranian foreign ministry officials, including spokesman Qasemi today, as well as Mr. Zarif, who made similar remarks a few days ago, they are showing that Iran is thinking of meaningful modification of its undertakings under the JCPOA, as they stated that Iran would continue the JCPOA, in proportionate to the merits that it's receiving from the European side. So I believe if Europeans delay, bringing up, complying with their promises and doing their promises, then Iran would start modifying its undertakings in order to warn the Europeans that they cannot play with this card anymore.
Thank you very much for that. Mustafa Khoshcheshm, journalist and political commentator.